Hello. So to follow up on making the grooves in the pillar, I wanted to show how you could use pretty much that exact same technique to make the grooves on a sword blade. The Bloodgroove that they have. So I'm going to click on the star, and the star, if you go down to initialize, has the access to the Q cube, which is sort of a special primitive that's very much designed to be used with the new Zmodler brush. So I'm going to make Polymesh 3D. I'm on my Zmodler brush, and let's just use the transpose a little bit and sort of get our billet shaped. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm going to use the mask here. What I'm doing is I'm just making a long rectangular shape. So I've got the mask, inverted the mask, and I'm just going to drag that out. And so this end with the extra edge loop is going to be my point. And well, I'm not going to be able to do an inset with this line down the center. I'm going to need that center line eventually to drag out the point, you know. Something like this, you know. But I want to inset to get that groove first, so I need to get rid of that that central edge loop. So I'm just going to delete it. Now I've deleted it, and I don't want to start the groove all the way to the where it would interact with the hilt. Some swords are like that, but I'm going to pretty much do it just like the column, and I'm going to insert an edge loop. Whoops. Oh, that's insert. I always get them confused. There we go. So that'll create a little bit of a distance there, and I can go ahead and put some extra lines in there that'll help me curve the point. And so now I'm going to inset that top one. Now the question is, do I have my symmetry going? I want to work on the back and the front of the blade at the same time, so I'm going to also activate symmetry, and I'm going to turn on the Y symmetry too, I think. Is that doing it? Nope. You always got to play with this. I think it's the Z. So that gives me, yep, the front and the back and the side. So now I can do on my poly, I can do my inset. Bingo. And now it's pretty much exactly what I had to do with the grooves for the column. So that was Transpose Edge, and let's move that up a little bit, not too far, and Q, click a different edge, pull this one down too, not too far. Okay. Oh well, I'm not being very smart here, am I? Let's back up. First I need to put, I gotta remember that I'm making a sword, so I gotta put some guys here first. Whoops. It's not giving me, oh, I gotta have it, see, this is, once again, I want to do edge loops on the side so that I can get where the top of my bevel for my blade ends. But see, if I just do there, it's not putting it on the other side. It's the same thing as what happened with my column. I gotta have that center line first, so I got ahead of myself there. A little bit of backtracking. So now there we go. That line, this rectangle right here, these two polys define where my groove is going to be, and then from here to there is going to be my bevel, and I'll show you how to do that with QMesher here in a second. So now I'm going to retake out that whoops, edge loop, and now I'm going to do my inset. Yep, there we go. And always backtracking here back to the transpose edge. Move that on up. Back to the transpose edge. Move that one down too. Now I can put my center line in there. Clear the mask. Now I've got that center line. So now I can move that point up to get that scallop. Bingo. So I just hit Q to get back into draw. Click this point, move this one down, and so now I can do what I did before, which is transpose the edge, right? And let's do this in perspective so I can see it. See how far I'm going. I might even want to turn off the poly frame so we can see this, and I'll just move that in. Bingo, right? So now I noticed something, which was this gets a little wonky right here. That's because I'm moving that edge, and that edge is connected. See, this edge is connected to this point, and that point is also moving down, and I don't necessarily want that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more loops before I move that edge. So back to insert poly, insert edge loop I mean. Whoops, get on an edge. And that will just kind of hold it. Now I'll clean up that flow here in a second. Possibly if I need to. Whoops. And that'll just hold that up a little bit, and now I can do my transpose edge. And so let's see how this is going. I could even turn on my dynamic right now to see how this is going to look. There we go. Now, you can't make that too deep, or the sword would get too thin in the center, which would defeat the purpose. You know, they call this a Bloodgroove, but I really think, oops, so you can see that's getting too close. Then it's inside out. I really think it's just to lighten the blade is why they really did this. So yeah, without dynamic on, you can see how I'm getting too close there. So whoops, let's go all the way back and do it without dynamic on. Yeah, something like that. Bingo. So that gets my groove. So let's do the bevel. Now let's work. We got to establish our point here. So I could do transpose on that edge, but instead of a single edge like it was set before, I can do it on edge loop complete. So I get that, and then I click on that center point, and I should be able to scale that in. Just pinch that in. So back to the other one, back to make sure it's got to be on that central point. Doesn't matter which one. that in, and then back to the next one. Bingo. Now see, I don't want to cross that because that makes weird things happen, right? And swords, even though we think of them as pointed, really aren't 100% pointed. It depends on the sword how sharp they are at the end. But if you look at a lot of the Viking type ones, they're actually really something more like curved at the very end. And so, whoops, I still went too far with that, didn't I? Let's put, whoop, talking instead of working. Let's go back to this one. Whoops. Edge loop complete. There we go. Whoa, what's going on here? Clear my mask. Let's see if this is going to work. No. Okay. I need to just not do this with Zmodler. I just need to do it with a normal mask. Because it's the end topology, the loop is not going around that completely like it was in the center of the model. So, invert that mask and manually go into move. And now I'm able to slide that in. And I can also choose to slide that down a little bit. So we get that type of action. Bingo. Alright, so just real quick, let's do our bevel and actually make this look like a sword. So it's not, I say bevel, that's because I'm creating a bevel, not because I'm going to be using the bevel function. So the function I'm going to be using is poly QMesh, and this should just snap right down. Whoops. Bingo. Did you see that? Look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Now I've got to sort some things out here on the end, but that's doable, and you can see how this would look with dynamic on, and it doesn't look so good, but if I use the crease function, so switch to edge, crease, and I crease that outer edge so it'll stay sharp, and I'm going to crease this one too. Whoops. This one too, and now I turn that dynamic on. We get kind of hard to see with this material, but yeah, there we go. We start to get that edge profile of an actual blade. So there would be more to do to sort out the end, but I think that builds a lot of techniques for you, and this is just a demo. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.